Hello everybody, welcome back to Major Minor.
Hi everyone!
So, we had to sit and talk about it to decide what we were doing. And we've decided we're gonna go with the Assassins. Now, I feel like there may be more interesting story if we go with Ridey and Keela, but if we go with the Assassins, there's a chance we'll get more information about the Ark. Because Mr... what was his name? Rayleigh? Or Raylo? Something like that?
Something.
The guy who hosts the Ark is actively working with Valesquez, so we might get some more answers.
Yeah, kind of want to know what the fuck's going on there.
Who do I believe? Who do I side with? It's the way they word that is shitty. Oh, that makes me feel bad.
Well, we might in the future come back to this decision, because we have been saving file by file.
Right.
And play it the other way.
Right, so if it is like the worst decision ever, we might just backtrack.
Yep, we'll see.
It's like those choose your own adventure books where you turn and you see the word axe and you're like, nope, go back. It's not easy for me to break the news to him, especially since I'm staring them in the face.
Hey, we unlocked an achievement.
But I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for both directions.
Probably.
Especially since I'm staring them in the face. But I let them know that I trust in Damien and Conrad. Huh? Ugh. Uh-oh, Ridey will remember that. Oh no. They stare at me, their gaze is like knives.
I can't picture Keela gazing at anyone with a knife look.
I mean, he's got that tooth, though.
Yeah, but those big green eyes and that purple body, the tail. Blue body, whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he is really not purple. They try to cut through my resolve, but they can't. Of course, they don't know the real reason I'm here. I'm performing reconnaissance for the man in the Ark. This isn't something I could just tell them. Nor is this something I would expect them to believe. So for now, they might secretly resent me. Endymion and Conrad had no reason to lie to me. And if the king tried anything heinous towards me, I could just use my power to escape his grasp. There's also the fact that the king trusts them. It would be easy to just walk in and meet him. This was the best course of action for my mission. Were I to go with Ridey and Keela, it would be too risky. My personal mission would fail. Ridey is free to rescue Kaelin, as I'm sure he will, but my presence is unfortunately required elsewhere. I'm afraid it's too late, Keela. Your friend's under the king's spell, too. I don't know about that, Ridey. I think he's smart. Perhaps he's planning something on his own. I'm still your friend, David. I wouldn't drop you over something so small. I can't say the same for Ridey, though. No harm will befall your friend by my hand. However, I will be unable to protect them. My focus now lies in rescuing Kaelin. That's a shame. Ridey would have been a great ally to have. If he were to protect me, there's nothing I'd fear. Alas, this is not going to happen. At least not yet. Although I'm sure Endymion and Conrad was strong. And he had strength in numbers, not just... And we had strength in numbers, not just strength. I guess you aren't the type to see reason. You should go back upstairs to your friends. Keela and I have much to discuss. It's truly a shame, though. My plight fell on deaf ears. I feel like he's ordering me rather than quite requesting. I should probably go back upstairs before he bursts. I can tell he's angry, but I can see him holding back. I don't know how to react to this. I still trust you, though. I'll see you later if I have the time. But I guess Ridey wants me to stay. Apparently we have some planning to do. But this isn't the last you'll see of me.
I just realized your Keela voice is very VV-esque.
Well, yes, that was on purpose. It's a good voice for childish characters. I nod. I don't want to be on Ridey's bad side. Right now, the best course of action is to leave. David. My ears perk up as Ridey says my name. He interrupts me just as I'm about to turn away. I sense that you still hold great honor. If you change your mind, I will welcome you. And if we meet as enemies in the future, I will not use lethal means to subdue you. Thanks! Wow, he's great at making people feel safe. At least he won't kill me if we ever end up fighting. Follow me, Keela. The two of them walk deeper into the cellar. Keela looks back at me once before leaving me behind. I feel like I just cut off an important avenue. Hopefully my choice delivers me no regret. That internal debate fills my mind. I doubt what happened as I slowly ascend the stairs. When I get back upstairs, I notice how loud it is. The tavern definitely became more lively since I left. The place is absolutely littered with patrons. They all look incredibly happy amongst themselves. Much better than the faces I saw them wear earlier. At this moment it seems Terra doesn't need saving. Of course that feeling is ephemeral, as most are. I realize that this happiness is most likely from the drink. Each of them holds an overflowing stein in their hands. They seem to not care how much they're spilling. I try to figure out my next course of action. I should probably talk to Endymion and Conrad. They probably have some questions about Righty, and I'm curious to see if they got the mail. That, and if they filled my paperwork correctly. Filed. I'm sure they got their mail from Kalen. I didn't fully believe Righty's little story. Well, even if there wasn't any mail, I'm sure there was a logical explanation. Oh, hello.
Hey there. Surprised at all the people?
I nod.
People seem to forget what we are. At night, we turn into a watering hole. No immigration papers to be found. Not that it bothers me, of course. Everyone is on some sort of journey of their own. We cater to every type of person. People who've come a long way to be here, or people who still have a long way to go.
Well, that explains the name.
Anyway, I saw you go downstairs. You must have had a chat with Righty.
I nod once more.
He always has something to say, that one. Sometimes I think he's bored. He sits around all day on his own. Do you want to come and have a drink? Me and Fidget, we're about to sit down. There's something we should talk about. We have our own special table, so we don't need to wait for any vacancies.
He points to a table near the corner of the tavern. I see Fidget sitting down. He's talking to himself. I shrug and say, sure. I didn't have anything to lose.
Great. Oh, and one more thing. While you're here, you drink for free.
He starts walking towards the table, and I follow. I wave to Endymion and Conrad as I pass them. I just want them to know that I'm not ignoring them. They wave back with a nervous look on their faces.
Uh-oh.
When we arrive at the table, I promptly sit down. I yawn loudly and stretch my arms. Hopefully I can just relax for a while now. I haven't gotten to do much of that lately.
Hey again, David!
I sit there and wait for him to hold out his hand, but he doesn't do it this time. Interesting.
So I hear you're the savior or something? And that's why you're meeting Valesquez? That is so cool! I wish I was important like that. I haven't seen the king since I was little.
I glance over at PB, so he told Fidget. Endymion and Conrad surely wanted to keep it secret. I guess that PB is the type to talk. I'll need to keep that in mind for the future.
Hey, don't look at me like that. Don't condemn me for telling Fidget. That's my best friend, you know. And besides, what kind of threat is he? It's not like he could ever hurt somebody. That's my brother. I trust him forever.
Forever. Fair enough. Dropping it for now.
We had something to talk about, remember? I didn't take you over here to judge me.
This is more like the PB I saw earlier. Easily angered and extremely defensive.
Are you gonna let me talk to you or not?
I surrender and apologize for derailing the subject.
Thank you. So if we could get back on track, I need to talk to you about Righty. I know you talked in the cellar, and I'm pretty sure I know what happened. He hates King Valesquez with a passion. This is one of the reasons I dislike Righty. That hatred totally clouds his judgment. Let me guess. Wanted to expose the king. Said he had some sort of evil plan.
I nod. That was actually an apt summary. Even if I didn't really believe his story.
I'm gonna lay this right out there. Valesquez has never hurt anybody. We have only known peace under his reign. Well, except for... I'll get there, Fidget. Just hold on. History of his rule goes back millennia. He's been nothing but altruistic. I know that Righty is strong and smart, But on that matter alone, he is biased. I really have no idea why. Fidget and I owe Valesquez so much. I don't know why he hired those assassins, but I trust his judgment unconditionally.
I guess PB doesn't know they've always worked for him. He thinks that they're new to Valesquez's employ. I won't reveal this to him. It seems to be a secret. I wonder if their relationship had to do with this. Endymion and Conrad did mention they were almost a trio. Perhaps Valesquez did something to make him back out. I think Righty mentioned some sort of litmus test. Isn't that where you test, like, the acidity of something?
I have no idea. Hey, you there.
PB snaps his fingers as if to jerk me out of reverie.
I'm trying to talk to you here. It's rude to stop paying attention.
He's right, and I apologize once more. This whole situation just gets more and more confusing. I don't know whose side is the right side.
Now, if you'll let me continue. Righty used to work for Valesquez.
What? Really?
I don't mean casually or anything. Righty was Valesquez's go-to man.
That's a surprise to me. I wonder what caused him to turn so drastically.
There was an incident about 10 years ago. Me and Fidget were very young. Valesquez called it the Exodus Project.
Exodus? That name seems very familiar to me. Or eerily.
I guess I need to explain Terra some more, or else this story won't really make sense. I forget that you were new here for a bit. Terra is extremely open to immigration. We offer people a second chance on our soil, to start anew, or to escape harm. But once they arrive, they're kind of stuck here. Leaving Terra is impossible.
Impossible?
That's what makes us special. We're something like a one-way street. Still, better than your world, though. I hear you have no open connections. I'm not sure how you even survive.
That's a good question, actually.
Anyway, back to the Exodus Project. It was an attempt to open our connection. Valesquez wanted to let people leave. If people could come and go as they please, Terra would flourish for an eternity. No more overpopulation or famine. That, and Valesquez could expand. No more would he rule over just Terra. He could rule over the entire galaxy for sure. Of course, it didn't go as planned. One look around could easily tell you that. It was a huge disaster. People died. Either that, or they got stranded in space. Our mother was one of those people. Huh? Valesquez want... Shut up!
Your accent is, like, descending into terror.
Valesquez wanted only the smartest on Terra. Unfortunately, they suffered the most. We lost some of our key public figures. But we know that Mom is out there. She'll come back one day. She has to. She was so smart!
Fidget exclaims this with pride.
She's smart enough to find her way back. I don't care how far she ended up. I'm being patient. I'll even wait forever. Ryder was close to our mom, you could say. He felt responsible for her disappearance, especially since he helped Valesquez out. Valesquez needed to fix his public image. He needed to show people that he cared. There was some heat on him after all this. So he funded the creation of our tavern, and tasked Righty with building it. Around 10 years ago. We weren't here.
Wait, so Valesquez was the true owner of the tavern, and he got Righty to build it from the ground up? That was a really impressive feat. I'm stunned.
Valesquez wanted to create a landmark, and one of galactic proportions, I mean, so the people knew how to get back home. He wanted word of Terra to spread. He wanted everyone to know about the tavern. Eventually, the lost ones would hear of it. And that's the reason we run this place. We hope that one day Mom will come back.
A galactic tavern? I think you need more than 3 waitresses.
Then maybe she'll walk through that door. That's what keeps us going. With every second, she gets closer.
She's going to be so proud of me. I've grown really big since she left. And I'm learning to be good at chores.
You're doing a great job, Fidget. That's why I wanted to tell you anyways. I don't think Valesquez is up to anything. At least nothing like Ryder believes. At first, the scope of this place was clear, but over time, its reason was lost. Now we're just a plain old bar and office. As this happened, Ryder changed too. He got less and less interested in waiting. Perhaps he lost hope, assuming Mom was.
Hey, don't say that! It's not true!
Sorry. So, Rod has a few reasons to hate, but we don't know what the real one is. I try pressing him for it all the time, but he just says he can't tell me. Something about being a man of honor. But he never leaves the tavern or our side. I think he wants to make it up to us, even though I forgave him long ago.
A man of honor, huh? Right, he said that earlier when we were in the cellar. When I asked him why he didn't become an assassin, could that have to do with all of this?
The more time he spent here at the tavern, the more he hated King Valesquez. It grew and grew over a long period of time. That's all there is to it, really. His hatred seems to transcend everything, no matter how much good Valesquez has done. And that is a lot of good. I'm sure you can agree with me. I mean, just look at this tavern.
Indeed, Valesquez seems like a very nice ruler. He owned up to and corrected his mistakes. Doing something like that is very noble. Definitely a mentality befitting that of a king. Well, it's also called damage control.
Yep.
That's something politicians also do.
Yep.
In the very least, I'm glad that PB told this to me. It solidified in my mind that Righty wasn't correct. He may have gotten tequila, but I know who to trust. Endymion and Conrad will help me succeed in Terra.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's push matters of the past aside. Shut up. I have my own theory on the future. Whatever it is that makes you special, I think I know what Valesquez wants. He wants to helm another Exodus project.
Whoa, really?
You're being hailed as a savior. I have no doubt in my mind. He used that term in the past as well. Before the first Exodus project, he promised that Terra would be saved. I'd say you have a long journey ahead. I guess it's only fitting you came here. The Wayfarer's Tavern, I mean. I hope your journey is swift and safe.
I hope that's the case as well. The Righty tried to make me sway from my path. It didn't work, but I hope it never happened again. And I hope they were able to rescue Kalen. I didn't really believe his entire story, but Kalen was in jail, that much was certain. I decided to ask PB about his thoughts on Lord Player.
Well, some people don't like immigration. They think it's harming Terra irreparably. Lord Player is just one of those men. I can see where he's coming from, but he seeks a total severance. The Exodus project was more admirable. Life on an unconnected world? I'm not sure why Player wants that. It seems like it would be impossible.
You've just got to build a wall.
No offense, of course. I'm sure they make it work back on Earth.
None taken. In fact, Terra was odd for me. We just have some major cultural differences.
Well, thanks for listening to me anyway. I didn't mean to talk for so long. I'll let you get back to your friends.
When he says friends, he looks to Endymion and Conrad. I smile and thank him for the chat before leaving. As soon as I stand up, I look toward the assassins. They seem to be deep in conversation amongst themselves. But as I'm sure it involves me, I walk towards them. When I arrive at the table, I promptly sit down. I sure have a lot to tell these two, especially with what happened in the cellar. I look at both of them as they sit across from me. An awkward silence ensues, and they display worry. Did I miss something on their end as well? It takes a moment before the silence is broken. Well, aren't you getting popular? Looks like you have quite the following. I'm not sure how to take that. That was uncalled for, Conrad. They can make as many friends as they want. Besides, the more the merrier. We might be here for longer than we thought.
Conrad's jealous.
What? Well, Endymion wants to check the mail. It might as well have been lined with dust. There was nothing in there. Nothing at all. I'm afraid it's true. That was just what Righty expected. I'm worried. This isn't a good sign. But Conrad here is jumping to conclusions. I prefer to think things more logically. He seems to think that Galen is in danger. What else could it mean? He failed to execute mission parameters. That definitely means something is wrong. It could just mean a simple change of plans. That happens all the time, Conrad. Remember the line of work we're in? You sure about that? Well, no. Exactly. Endymion has it all wrong. He thinks we should take it to Valesquez, even if Galen's life is clearly in danger. Twisting my words as usual. I only said it would be logical. We can't just go attacking Lord Blair's home. Our cover would be blown. He'd know our true allegiance. The smear campaign would go on to fail. Valesquez could lose the throne, Conrad. We'd fail everything he wants us to do. We can't break our mission parameters. Well, I think that I decide to cut them off right there. I could end their senseless bickering immediately. Huh? I tell them what Righty said to me in this cellar. They don't need to worry about Kalen right now. Righty is mounting his own little rescue mission. They can take me straight to Valesquez. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. He must know some of what we plan. I didn't know he still used spies. I let them know that Kalen was the spy here, as well as what Righty wants to do with him. He had been spying on them and Valesquez all along. Well, we knew Kalen was a mercenary, but we didn't know he was Righty's. And he was spying on us all along? Damn! Honestly didn't expect that at all. The rally was the first time we saw Kalen. To know he was undercover for that long? Righty must know about the ritual then, and he must know all about you too. How did I not recognize Galen? If he truly did spy on Valesquez, well, he must have been in disguise. That boy is definitely a prodigy. I tell them what Righty said, how Valesquez wanted Kalen to starve to death. That's why he used the rally to get him imprisoned. Kalen had dug up some royal secrets while undercover. Propaganda! Valesquez would never do that. And yet our mailbox remains empty. Conrad, you can't possibly believe this. I'm sure Righty's efforts will be fruitless. Either way, he'll attack Blair for us. We're lucky even if we were being played. If Galen is fine, he'll look foolish. But if, for some reason, he is in danger, well, I doubt that Valesquez is involved. Valesquez would never want a boy to die, especially not such a young and skilled one.
Right.
Or would he? What? You seem to forget about our history, mainly the origins of our little guild. And you also seem to forget our jobs. We kill those who oppose Valesquez, or those who threaten his reign. We might not be killing Lord Blair, but that doesn't completely absolve us, especially not from our little test. I wonder if Valesquez has joined our ranks. He could be doing some killing of his own. He wouldn't do such a thing. Valesquez is an honorable man. Honorable enough to hire assassins, yeah. And Galen would die by starvation alone, so Valesquez's hands would remain clean. I'm not about to turn against the king, but what if he had his own agenda? It's not such an outrageous thought, Indy. He's capable of hiding things from us, especially if Galen knows secret stuff. Everybody has something they need to hide. And what would that be? How would I know? He'd be hiding it. That's a pretty stupid question, Indy. Endymion slams his fist on the table. As I've said before, think logically. These accusations are extremely outlandish. Did I not say that Righty would do this? Subterfuge, exactly as I thought. He wants us to be having this conversation. I guess you're right. Sorry for that line of thought. You should be. Insubordination is a vile thing, Conrad. I didn't think you were capable of it. Endymion takes 2 keys out of his pocket and he places them on the table. One in front of me and one in front of Conrad. The one he places in front of me says 23 on it. Respectfully, I am ending this discussion. I got PB to rent us a room for the night. He'll place it on our growing tab. But trust me, it'll be pocket change, especially after we deliver the savior. We depart in the morning. Rest well. If Valesquez asks why we're late, well, we'll have to blame it on Righty. I'll be at your door as the sun rises. He gets up and leaves without another word. I'm sorry for the way he talks sometimes. I don't think he knows what logic means. Doesn't mean sucking up to our king. Where I come from, you doubt everybody, and you don't draw the line at your boss. Especially if they rely on your skill. More reason for them to butter you up. Let me give you one piece of advice. And this is my creed, so don't judge me. The closer you let somebody get to you, the faster they can stab you in the back. I don't believe in friendship. A friend will always become an enemy. You just haven't set them off yet. It's not like I want this to be true, but I've seen it happen so many times, especially in our line of work. A friend is such a fleeting thing, but an enemy you remember forever. Stunning how fast that transition can be. That's why I try not to make friends. They're really all just potential foes. Except for you. You seem different. Perhaps it's an earthling thing, or perhaps you're special. He rubs his arm nervously. I didn't mean to lecture you. I apologize, David. I tell him there's no need to apologize, and in fact I ask him to continue. I was interested in learning about their pasts, especially more about their relation to РouᴉW. Really? Thought you'd want me to shut up. You really are something else, you know? He lets out a soft smile. Me and Endymion go way back. We knew each other before we teamed up. I kinda hate that story, though. He'll have to tell you that one. It makes me seem weak and boring. If you want to know about РouᴉW, well, I can tell you a lot about that guy. About 10 years ago, there was an incident. Valesquez helmed some sort of big project. Instead of helping, it was a huge failure. He ended up getting a lot of hate for this. There were people who wanted him out. From the throne, or even from living. He must be talking about the Exodus project. Terra's attempt to open its connection to other worlds. Valesquez needed a more militant approach. He's usually passive, but not anymore. He did have РouᴉW as his hired guard. But protection just wasn't enough anymore. He needed to wipe out insurrection. Stop attempts at regicide before they began. That's why he formed the Assassin's Guild. Originally, RouᴉW was supposed to lead, and he was supposed to recruit 2 others. That's when he found me and Endymion. We got an audience with Valesquez. We were meant to be a triumvirate. We were supposed to ensure his reign, and we were all placed above the law. Valesquez knows what's best for Terra. A new ruler wouldn't just screw things up. We weren't put into action for a while. During that time, this tavern was built. РouᴉW built it, actually. Valesquez wanted to win over the people. Then he'd be able to plan things freely. Everyone was reveling over this place. It left us free to do what we needed. Valesquez is a genius, I'll admit. But before he'd put us in the field, we had to complete an entrance exam. Something we did to show our fealty. This is what РouᴉW told me about earlier. He said he couldn't do it and had to back out. You need to realize before I tell you this, I was young and stupid. I didn't know the world like they did. They were fully grown men at this point. I was just a clueless teenager. I only knew it was right to follow my peers. So let me put it this way. We had to prove we were worthy assassins. And what else would we do but kill? Valesquez wasn't satisfied with just anyone. We had to show that we held no remorse, that we killed with no hesitation at all. To that end, he researched our pasts. He came up with very specific targets. Somehow, he thought this was a good idea. He had us kill our friends and family. He had us kill those we were close to, those we would even call lovers. But I don't make friends, remember? In this situation, I got off easy. But Endymion had those connections. I watched him kill the people he loved, all in an effort to win over our king. But this is where РouᴉW ran away. He was close to PB and Fidget by now. Choosing his targets was easy for Valesquez. But he couldn't do it. Not at all. He broke down and ran away in an instant. I never thought he'd be the type to run. He sought shelter in this tavern. That's kind of ironic, don't you think? The same tavern that Valesquez funded. And he barely leaves the rabbits alone. He thinks they might be targeted again, as someone will do what he couldn't. I have no idea how to respond to this story. It was definitely the last thing I expected to hear. We all swore to uphold our honor. He said he'd never tell anyone about this. But I guess I might lack honor. I know that you won't repeat this. I trust you with this information. I don't think you're the type to talk. Now you know about our past with РouᴉW, and why I don't fully trust Valesquez. It's possible that he wants Galen dead. Anyway, I'll let you get your rest. Please don't hold my actions against me. I was young back then, and stupid. He gets up and leaves, not saying another word. It's probably for the best. I'm at a loss, too. I have no idea how to take any of what he just said. It's hard to get a read on anybody in Terra. Just when I think I know them, this happens. I almost can't believe what I just heard. Was siding against Righty the right thing to do? I keep this conflict in my head. Best to not show doubt to those around me. I notice a bunch of doors in the second floor. They must all be rooms for rent. I look for room 23 where I'll be staying. When I eventually find it, there's a drawing on it. It's a stick figure and a rabbit figure holding hands. Both of the figures are smiling. That's really cute. I look a little closer and it's signed by Fidget. I guess he views us as friends. I'm grateful. Given that this is my room, I must be the stick figure. I unlock the door and take a deep breath as I enter. Finally, I'll have some time to relax. I feel like this is a major victory. But all it really is the calm before the storm. Save point. Shit! Later that night, in the privacy of the wine cellar... Oh! Hello. I have to say, I'm really glad you helped. Destroying the mail was a great idea. Now they'll attack Lord Blair for sure. Or at least they'll make Righty do the same. Blair's days are now numbered either way. Thank you very much for your help. Oh yeah. But about this savior in your midst? That was kept a secret even from me. It could be a great contingency plan. I didn't think you'd sell them out, though. How'd you think they'd feel about that? Oh, hi!
I don't need you to lecture me, Riley. I'm old enough to make my own choices. You won't get a reaction out of me here.
Very well. You'll get your money soon. I'll have it delivered in a day or two. Perhaps you can buy Fidget a present.
Money? We didn't do this for money, Riley. You said you had information about Mother.
I did? You must be mistaken, PB. Get things written down in the future. It ensures you won't get cheated.
You bastard!
No, I didn't say you wouldn't get it. So you want information on your mom, huh? Then I have another task you can do for me.
Not yet. I'm not finished with this. Why do you want Lord Blair on a hit list? I thought he was your boss, your friend.
Of course he's not my friend. You're right about being my boss, though. But I hate that man. He's a stepping stone. He's snagging up all the votes for me. When he's gone, I'll take his campaign. And then the King's throne will be mine. And if he's killed by Righty, or even if the assassins get him, more reasons to have them all executed.
What's the next task? In order to learn about my mother.
I'll tell you soon enough, PB. As I mentioned, I have a contingency plan. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be in touch.
Bastard.
I don't like this at all. He lied to us, PB.
Yeah, he did.
He probably doesn't know anything about Mom. I bet he was just using us for his benefit.
Yeah, he was. Don't worry, Fidget. He'll get what's coming to him.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. Evil men always do.
Just go tell Righty and he'll go crush him. Thank you! Yes, I would like to save my game. And we're going to end that rather politically intense episode.
Yes.
So, until next time, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.